Well, hello again everybody. I'm back on this diesel heater job, trying to get it all working again, ready for the colder weather. Now the last diesel heater video we did, where we did fail to get it working, generated quite a lot of comments. There was a bit of divided opinion. Lots of people did suggest it just needed dismantling and a good clean out, was probably all coked up from the way we'd been running it. Admittedly, I think we had probably been not running it in the best way when we were up in Scotland. We did run it for long periods on the low setting, and a couple of times I think we did forget to put it right up high before we turned it off, so that does seem likely. A good few people also suggested that it would be the fuel pump that was faulty and we needed to replace the fuel pump. So that was a popular vote for the fault on the heater. Other people pointed out the bubble in the fuel line, and yeah, I think that could be a problem as well. So I've been shopping on the internet and this is what I've got. Now I got myself some convoluted trunking to run that wiring in properly, because a few people didn't like those cables run just bare underneath the van like that, and I do tend to agree, but I think the first job is to get the diesel heater working properly before we start worrying about the wiring. Although I do intend to fit a fuse closer to the battery, that has also been raised as a bit of a concern, and I do tend to agree with that as well. I got myself a new pump. This is the super silent pump, and I've also got some of the hard fuel line. The diesel heater that I bought came with the softer fuel line, and a lot of people are saying that that can be a problem. Now I did also have some comments following my last video, not on YouTube. YouTube people are lovely and don't make silly comments. But on Facebook, people were saying, why wasn't I wearing safety glasses under the van? Should always wear safety glasses under the van. Well, I actually was wearing safety glasses under the van, so I'm not sure if people just didn't notice them or just assumed I wasn't. But let's make it absolutely clear, wear safety glasses when you're working under any vehicle. I'm going in, people. Right, well there's the existing pump. Let's get it swapped out and see what happens. There's that air bubble look that everyone was talking about. See if we can get rid of that at the same time. Right, well that's that little pump connected. It's not connected with the new rigid fuel line. I just connected it with the old fuel line because I just want to try it out, see if it does solve the problem. But first I just got to reconnect the power to the diesel heater. Right, let's give it a go. Now that's shutting down again now, getting error code 8. So yeah, error code 8 is check the oil circuit for air or blockage. Check whether the temperature sensor on the housing is faulty or the plug-in terminal is loose. Well, I wasn't actually that convinced that just changing the pump would work, but it was worth a try. I think what's going to happen now is just going to have to take that whole diesel heater out, get it on the workbench, strip it down and have a good old clean out of that combustion chamber, as quite a few people said in the comments of the previous video. So I think that is going to be a job for tomorrow, because it's about 4:45 now and I think my dinner is probably about ready. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with this tomorrow. Well, it's the next day. It's been absolutely tipping it down with rain all morning, so I've not been able to really get out there and do much, but dried off a bit now. So I'm going to head out there, disconnect that exhaust, disconnect the fuel line, disconnect the air intake, then undo the bolts so you can lift that diesel heater out from the top, take it into the garage and disassemble it. Well, I've got the heater on the workmate out here in the garage, so let's get it stripped down a bit. It's quite reassuring that the exhaust is very sooty, so it seems like people are right that it could just be sooted up and needs clearing out. If that was clean, I'd be a bit more worried, because it means that I'd be a bit out of options as to what to do next. But yeah, soot definitely looks like it could be the thing. So I'm just going to take the cover off and expose the innards. Now the first thing I'm going to do is take this little circuit board off and take out the glow plug. Now remember, I am not a diesel heater expert. This is not intended as a tutorial. It's just a vlog for your entertainment as you follow us trying to keep everything going. But yeah, let's crack on, get those bits off. So I don't damage anything, I'll take these connectors off as well. Right, I've got rid of all the extra bits and pieces. Now I think we need to just separate it out here. Now I'll try not to break this gasket as I separate it, although I have got a new one. That's separated quite easily, didn't it? Right, so now I think we need to undo those three to get into the combustion chamber proper. Well, yeah, I think all the people who said it would be sooted up were right. Look at the absolute state of that. That is proper manky. And the burner thing is not much better either. Look at the state of that. So if you're in the it's sooted up camp, then I think you can give yourself a pat on the back because, yeah, I think you were probably right. So let's get to it and give it a bit of a clean out. I've got some brushes and some cleaning stuff. I'm going to use the orange water-based cleaning stuff that I use for bits and pieces on the car sometimes. I have heard of people use an oven cleaner, but I haven't got any oven cleaner, so let's give that a shot and see how clean I can get it. Well, there we go. I've given it a good clean out with brake cleaner. I ended up doing it with, in fact, and I removed the sensor off the top there, so I have to remember to put that back. Also made sure the little breather hole, that little hole there, is nice and clear in this. Left the gauze in there because obviously I've only just had that in and out. It's still a bit sort of smoked, the metal, but it is clean, so let's put it all back together and then we'll see if it works. Well, there we go. That's all cleaned up and back together, and hopefully that'll work when I put it back in the van. But unfortunately, I'm not going to get round to doing that tonight because it's got a little bit late and I've got some other things I've got to do before tomorrow. So unfortunately, reinstalling this and seeing if it works is going to have to wait until another day. Right, well, it's Monday now. It's after work. It's going to be dark soon, I reckon. But I want to try and get this diesel heater in to see if it fires up all right. Now I've cleaned all that soot out. Right, well, Nikki's just come out and told me that dinner's nearly ready, so I'm going to go in and have my dinner. I expect it'll be dark by the time I come out again, but I have got me little light, so should be all right. Well, I've had me dinner. Nice bit of fish Nikki cooked for us. But yeah, it's absolutely pitch black out there now, so going to need me light. I'm going to take that bit of diesel hose out there, trim that, connect that up, reconnect the exhaust, reconnect the air inlet, and then we'll see what happens inside the van when we try and fire her up. Right, I reckon now we can go and give it a try again. Well, I don't know, is that promising? Hopefully that's just burning off the last of the residue that's in there. It's not the thick smoke that we were getting before. I think it might be burning off, you know, and getting a bit cleaner. Yeah, I am cautiously optimistic. Yeah, it is kicking out heat nicely in here too, so yeah, that's good. I'm going to let her run for a bit while I clear up the tools and stuff, and hopefully that smokiness will clear. Now I'm also going to put the cover back on the front again as well. Cool, in half hot in here. Well, I think that has properly cleared now. There's no smoke coming out of that at all. It's lovely and clean, burning very nicely. So I've not finished yet really. I have got to put a fuse closer to the battery for reasons that I'll perhaps explain when I do that. And I'm also going to put the wires into that convoluted trunking at some point. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased that this is a good fix. I think our problem was we just ran it on the very lowest setting for far too long, and forgetting to allow it to run on high for 10 to 15 minutes before we shut it down a few times must have generated all that soot. Yeah, obviously we're going to have to learn how to run this properly so that we don't experience those problems again.